Thanks a lot, Diana, for that introduction. Hello, everyone who have joined our second session of Career Talk today. I want to thank you for taking your time to join UiPath community and invest your time in one of our career sessions. I hope this event will be enlightening for you. And if you have any questions throughout the session, just like Diana mentioned, please feel free to add them in our chat and we will answer them to you. So today's Career Talk session 2 is about unlocking career opportunities in intelligent automation. I will get to that in a sec, but before that, I just want to let you know that if you haven't joined our UiPath community, we are a virtual community-based. I'm based in the US, but it's a worldwide community. There are different ways you can join the community. There's forums, there are meetups, there's academy, and other ways that you can join seen here. If you need any more information on that, you can, again, add us on the chat and we will be able to support you through that. Great. So today we have a very special guest that we've invited to join our session 2. She is a 3-time UiPath MVP and currently the customer success manager at Ashling Partners. Hannah Nguyen, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming to join the session 2. With your expertise, I'm sure our audience will gain incredible insights with your experience. We also have Diana Gray, who's the UiPath Community Manager for Americas. Diana, I want to thank you for organizing the session and continuing the momentum of UiPath community in America. This has helped our community evolve and grow and upskill with the newer technologies that come into. So a little bit about myself. My name is Sharon Palawandram. I'm a UiPath MVP and an UiPath AI ambassador to Americas. I'm a senior machine learning consultant at Ashling Partners. So we also have our third and final session that will be next Wednesday, same time as we have today. What we are trying to talk about there is how you can further grow your skills and develop your skill set in the continuous learning and in the era of generative AI. I think this is a very interesting conversation because a lot of organizations see an upward trend on adapting generative AI, and large language model adaptations. So this would be a good session to attend if you're currently an RPA developer and you are inquisitive to see how you can actually get involved in generative AI and upskill yourself. And if you want to contribute to your organization, upskill and transform, this would be a good session to attend. Okay, all right. So what is today's session about? I know we talked about our session going to be unlocking career opportunities in intelligent automation. So we are going to talk first and foremost about what intelligent automation is. Intelligent automation has been a topic that has been ever changing. It was from a core capability standpoint, it was RPA essentially for a lot of years. But in today's world, we see intelligent automation being defined as a combination or a marriage between RPA and artificial intelligence. So we can explore a little bit of in depth about what it entails. So what is intelligent automation? So I screenshotted something from UiPath forum that says that intelligent automation is the best of two worlds. I think this is a fair statement in today's world because when you think of intelligent automation, it's no longer RPA or robotic process automation. Intelligent automation is also known as intelligent process automation, which could refer to artificial intelligence technologies like computer vision, which is used in RPA. And if you're an RPA developer, you're probably familiar with this. Cognitive technologies, machine learning, and robotic process automation. So the convergence of all of these technologies combining into one end-to-end solution that's being provided as an automation solution is the definition of intelligent process automation or intelligent automation. So if you know Graham Sheldon, he's the CPO of UiPath. Last year in our MVP summit, this is something that he reiterated was that AI without automation is like the brain without the body. So that is actually a fair statement, I would say, because when we think of intelligent automation, it's a fair statement to think about end to end automation. And what does end to end mean? End to end means a complete solution, right? A complete solution that caters to your business need, that is a component of RPA as well as AI. So RPA and intelligent automation have been heavily being utilized AI for their capabilities, and AI acts as the brain, and RPA acts as the body, and together the whole human will be intelligent automation. So thinking about the core capabilities that UiPath offers on an AI-powered automation, you may not know all of this, but I would like to reiterate just to refresh your memory. Couple of solutions that UiPath offers is UiPath Document Understanding, AI Center, Communications Mining, Clipboard AI, Process and Task Mining, and UiPath Studio. Now, Document Understanding, AI Center, Communications Mining, Clipboard AI are technologies that heavily use AI in their core capability. So process mining, task mining, they use AI to a certain extent. UiPath Studio, I would say it does not, but still you have components that use AI like generative extractor. If you use document understanding, again, you have machine learning extractor, which is a studio feature. So when you use all this, you can see that RPA and AI are two components that go in hand in hand. So the next thing that I want to talk about is generative AI and specialized AI. Now, in today's world, I think everybody knows at least a little bit about what Gen AI is. So last year, when ChatGPT came, I think everybody was very inquisitive, and I think ChatGPT or generative AI is one of the most adapted technology with the most rapidest adaptations. So generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence. It's it's what can I say? It's a machine learning and AI offering that use AI technologies to generate, AI-based solutions. So you can see OpenAI is one of the big ones where you have ChatGPT. You see Microsoft doing Microsoft's OpenAI, AWS, Google Cloud, different hyperscalers have also adapted generative AI into their solutions now. And even UiPath has their generative AI, but we call them as specialized AI because they are combined with RPA. So if you think about documents, screens, tasks, processes, how you automate them is, RPA and artificial intelligence. So we have a special terminology for them called specialized AI. So these technologies, just to give you guys a heads up, the infrastructure can be developed on any infrastructure. So when it comes to UiPath, they offer integration service, validation station, active learning, fine tuning, guardrails auditing, just to give a human in the loop or an integration service amongst different integration platforms. So if you have any questions on specialized I would like to take a more question answer approach. Just add them in the chat and we'll be able to answer that or have a conversation around it. next up, I just want to talk a little bit about the era of artificial intelligence. Now, I know I previously mentioned that artificial intelligence or even Gen AI is something that was highly adaptive. So if you see the previous technologies like the adoption of cell phones, the adoption of the internet, the adoption of Bluetooth, you'll see that it took a couple of years for them to get adapted, or even a couple of months. But generative AI, LLMs, or ChatGPT was adapted within 2 months. So the adoption rate is high, and obviously over the last year, you see organizations adapting Gen AI, and there seems to be a demand and requirement for this. So if you see here, UiPath's Forward 6 last year, when they held, this was a screenshot that I took from them. And what they say is that AI is surpassing human performance. So one of the researches done by the Time magazine shows that stuff like code generation, common sense completion, grade school math has been evolved with ChatGPT, and it seems to outperform human performance. So what does this mean? Actually, this means that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and AI could gravely benefit humans be more efficient and optimize their performance. And maybe with that time left over, maybe use it for innovation or even yourself, right? So, a couple of metrics if we think about from an industrial perspective. This was another conversation UiPath's CEO Daniel Dines had over Forward 6. And he said that the potential of automation is vast. We believe the power of AI can make it almost limitless. And so we built AI into every part of the UiPath platform. And this is evident in that specialized AI tool set that we saw previously, where artificial intelligence is now being adapted amongst every single tower of UiPath offerings. And if we see from an industrial standpoint, you'd see that a lot of technologies, a lot of industries are getting adapted to AI at a rapid pace. And if you see from an analytics perspective, you'd say that, the size of the AI global market by 2026, Forbes states that it could be up to $200 billion. And the enterprise will combine human expertise with artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing by 2026. And that's a huge number, 85%, which means almost all of the automations or all of the work could potentially have artificial intelligence involved in their day-to-day activity. Next, something that's commonly seen is how productivity can grow within organizations as well as within individuals. So that's another PwC research that states that it could go up to $6.6 trillion. So as we see an upward trend on the adoption of AI, it's good practice for us to come back and see how intelligent automation has captured the art of the possible with RPA as well as artificial intelligence. So next up, I would like to invite our special guest and speaker for today, Hannah Nguyen. She will speak about her experience and how she got here as an intelligent automation subject matter expert, I would say. Just to give you a background for today's audience, Hannah is a well-known personality in the UiPath community. She was almost one of the very first UiPath MVPs and has held her title for the last 3 years. So, Hannah, the floor is yours. Once again, thank you for attending our session, and I hope our audience will gain massive insights from you.
Thank you for the very nice introduction, Sharon. So currently, I'm the Customer Success Manager at Ashling Partners. Ashling Partners is a consultancy firm in Central US. And mm, currently, as customer success manager, my main role is to make sure that ensure the satisfaction and retention of our clients. But before becoming a customer success manager, I was a RPA developer, and even before that, I was a full stack developer. And I fell in love with the RPA technology about 5, 6 years ago. And I'm very glad that I chose RPA to be the main focus of my information technology journey. Um, and On the journey on how I get here, I'll keep the story short for anyone who is interested. Then we can go into the detail later. Um, when I graduate like from university about 14, 15 years ago, I was major in business, minor in marketing research. And at that time, with my college who graduate at the same time, I find that people work in IT, they just have better career advancement, they have better pay, and that's why it sparked my interest in information technology because working in marketing research, I also use technology, but of course not in the term of coding or programming. But with that exposure, it introduced me to technology, and that's why as I learn more about different aspect of information technology. Like you don't have to be a developer, you don't have to be a programmer. There are different career opportunities in information technologies. And that's why I decided to pursue another degree in management information systems and then put my focus on being a developer in desktop and mobile applications. But very soon, that I didn't feel like that my passion because I guess because my background was in business, I want to see the impact of the technology in the business world, helping solving business problems. And that's where I discovered RPA, the technology that helps automate business processes. Because during the time that I work in market research, I can see that there's a lot of back office activities that is not very efficient, it's very time consuming. So when I heard about RPA, it all makes sense to me. Like these technology and processes can free human from all of these very mundane work, very repetitive, and to me, just not very meaningful because human is creative. We're capable of doing creative work. So that's why I choose RPA. And when I learned about the technologies, I was curious on how I get started. And there's not a lot of company were hiring for RPA specialist back then, like 5 or 6 years ago. Um, a lot of the work were for like contractors and consultancy work. And I'm glad that I get introduced to UiPath because UiPath have a very supportive community, the UiPath forum, and also the UiPath Academy, which is totally free. And so I took a couple of courses on the UiPath Academy in order to learn about the new technology. I was also learning about Blue Prism and automation anywhere as well, but UiPath just stood out to me because of the materials available and how easy it is to get started. I think having some background on development or programming can definitely help you pick up UiPath quickly. Um, but then again, go back to the point of you don't have to be a developer to work in technologies. Um, in UiPath Academy, you can see there's many career paths for the role that you want to work in. Like if you want to be a business analyst, you don't have to code, but it have training for you to understand the technology and how you can implement that for the company. Um, So yeah, so I took some training and then, landing on some interviews and um, after working in a RPA developer role for a couple of years, I moved to working as a customer success manager, dealing with collaborating with the customer and making sure that they are happy with the product we build, exploring new product for the customer, and very happy with the career path that I have so far.
Thanks a lot, Hannah, for sharing your career expertise. It's very interesting to know because I didn't know that you were a full stack developer before you became an RPA developer. I think coming from a maybe a coding or an IT or a full stack experience, I have a couple of questions for you if you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today's world, we see if you are working as an RPA developer, a lot of AI is being implemented into the RPA space.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also a leader at Ashling Partners. And I know this because we are in the same company,
Mm-hmm.
that you have a team that's working for you onshore as well as offshore.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think is implementing AI as, a skill set to them or as an upskilling perspective is? And how do you envision as a leader to incorporate it within your team?
Yes. So thank you for your question, Sharon. So like I mentioned, I work with an onshore and offshore team on ensuring the customer service that we provided for the customer in the US. Um, so as you can see from the previous slide, Sharon talked about Gen AI and AI in general being integrated with RPA. So we see a lot of clients, they are moving from, using just regular RPA automation like front end or back office activities. They start integrating AI in the aspect that you can do document understanding, for example, using AI to extract information from the document, and it can quickly learning on how to extract data from document that it wasn't trained on. Um, so as the working in the function that helping clients to understand these new products and support these products, we train the employee using either the UiPath training courses for document understanding and action center, and also we have requirements for employee to take on certification for document understanding for UiPath. And so UiPath is not only the only player in intelligent automation. Microsoft is also a big player as well. So we also have training for Power Automate, making sure that the employees understand the technology to support the automation. And as a customer success manager, I also make sure that I have continuous learning. Not in the way that you have to know how to build product using the technology, but reading news and also the product roadmap from different products that in the market to educate our customer on the potential of the new technology out there. And yeah, I think being a customer success manager is very important that you educate yourself and keep yourself updated on new technologies. Currently, Gen AI is like I wouldn't say it's a buzzword, but it continues to prove that it is a trend to stay, right? And previously, we have low code to no code was the main theme of 2022 and also early 2023. But then we have Gen AI, and like Sharon mentioned, it was very quickly adapt. And I think ChatGPT have like 100 million users only after almost 2 years introduced into the world. So it was very quickly adapted by user. I think Gen AI is more a disruptive technology in the sense that people can quickly get a hand of it, right? Get a hand on it, and it kind of bridges the gap for people that think transformative technology is more for high skill professional. But now with ChatGPT, we can see that regular user can use it in the daily tasks and make Gen AI and ChatGPT in general. I think the way that it presented to the world is it can help humans to become more efficient, increase productivity.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I do have a couple of more questions from you, but before that, Prashant in our team mentioned that he can't hear you that well. Will you be able, is there a way you can bring your mic closer?
But can you hear me?
It's almost the same right now.
Let me see. I'm changing my microphone real quick.
Okay, yeah, we'll give that a couple of minutes.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so
about
much for
that.
that. Thanks a lot, Hannah, for sharing your insights. I do have another question for you. Now, you're also, correct me if I'm wrong, you're also part of the hiring management team. You have, when it comes to interviews, you are one of the leaders who make the decision of hiring or not within your team. And your team is also very diverse in terms of capabilities. You're handling RPA, AI, and other technologies. Would you share, what are the key components if someone is going to apply to a job who's, RPA plus AI? What are the key things that you would look for in them, and what this question could actually help our audience if they are RPA developers that are thinking about career transitioning or upskilling? From your point of view, what would you actually look?
That's a good question. Yeah, so part of my job is also hiring individual for my team and also the development team. And what I look for when hiring for junior or senior position is always, the individual must have a good core foundations. They can have maybe 1 or 2 years experience in RPA or even no experience in RPA, but they must have a good core foundation in programming. If I'm hiring for the developer role. If it's for business analyst role, then I want to make sure that the individual have a good understanding of business processes. Because the business analyst role, they need to be the bridge between the business user and the developer. They need to help to translate the business requirement into a problem that the developer can help resolve by coding, right? So for back to the developer role, strong foundation, but also they must have a good communication, because unlike a typical developer, we don't really, for like back then when I was full stack developer, we don't have a lot of exposure to the end user. We don't really like go and talk to the user about the product that we build. We have sell people to do that. But at RPA developers, at least for in our company, I can see that the developer also communicate with the business user in order to make sure that we build product that work for them, right? So they must have a good communication skill, able to explain the technical term and technical issue to non-technical stakeholders. So good foundation and good communication skill are a good start.
Thanks a lot, Hannah. I appreciate you going not only for an RP developer, for a business analyst as well. So having those questions, do you see anything that your let an RPA developer currently struggles with in a day-to-day activity when it comes to AI adoption? I'm asking this question is because AI is new and not everybody has that machine learning background. But
Right.
still, we see AI being adapted very rapidly. So I'm thinking if someone is finding it challenging to actually adapt and keep up with the times, do you see that? That would be one question. And if so, what are your recommendations to overcome that?
I see. So not just as an RPA developer, but as an organization ourselves, we also question ourselves. So Gen AI is become explosive in 2023. Everybody talk about it, right? So what it means for us and for RPA developer, I cannot just suddenly switch my focus and start learning machine learning and become a data scientist, right? So what it means for RPA developer, focusing on UiPath or Power Platform in particular, you can see that UiPath start adopting Gen AI in our roadmap, in the product roadmap already. So what you can do right now is to check on, first you need to understand what Gen AI is, what it is capabilities, and see if you want your focus is in UiPath or RPA, see how RPA are adopting Gen AI into their RPA products. And then I'm sure that UiPath already have some type of training or documentation on like how we are using Gen AI in RPA products. So take those trainings, understand how to implement that using the UiPath technologies, and be ready to be able to like explain it, to be able to understand it. And as you learn about the technology, you feel more comfortable talking about it. You don't feel scared anymore, like Gen AI going to replace your job. I don't think Gen AI going to replace most of the human job that we have right now. But I think I read on one article on LinkedIn that from a market research that they see that Gen AI is going to replace like 30% of white collar job in the next 10 years. But those jobs are mostly dealing with communication and customer service, like being the front office. For example, if you work on customer service and support, Gen AI going to replace most of the job that dealing with that front facing, dealing with human interaction in that sense. But I don't think that Gen AI or AI in general can replace human in the sense that we generate that organic interaction with between human. And interestingly, blue collar job is not going to be replaced, or it doesn't get impact as significant as the white collar job. But I guess I kind of digress into that article where white collar job and blue collar job, because it's that making people asking question, right? We see white collar job usually get paid higher, and people encourage. If you have kids, you usually talk, educate and kind of prep your kid into a white collar job. But now we are at risk of being replaced, or the future of work are going to be changed by Gen AI. So make sure you learn about the impact and the implication of the technology. Of course, you don't have to be a data scientist or learn about machine learning in order to make use of it. In your day-to-day work right now, if you are an RPA developer, you can already start learning about its implication using free material, right? Like UiPath Academy, and be ready to be able, as you adopt new skill, you can guarantee your job security as well.
Thanks a lot, Hannah, for that very, very insightful answer that you just shared. when you were talking about your career and your career progression, something that you mentioned was that you used UiPath's Academy as a resource tool for your academic excellence. And I just want to echo what you just mentioned when you upskill yourself into AI. UiPath offers a specialized AI program. Now, the program is actually aimed at someone who has a relative experience of at least 6 months in the artificial intelligence space of UiPath as document understanding or communications mining. But there are some chapters in that series where you can actually go in and try to see what Gen AI is, what are the AI offerings in UiPath. So if you are interested, I would recommend to just go in into the specialized AI course and do the first few chapters where it gives you an overview of what artificial intelligence is. So thanks again, Hannah, for sharing all of your insights. There are a couple of questions in the chat. So while you're here, I would like to ask your opinion about them. One of the questions directly to you from Ashu says, "Hey, Hannah, I'm currently working as a business analyst. I'm trying to learn and become an RPA business analyst or RPA developer. How can I learn better the real life implementations of RPA in different companies?"
I see. So I think UiPath have a lot of business case on the UiPath website about RPA implementation. That can give you a good start on like where RPA are being implemented. But in order to just like what I look for in as a hiring manager, I look for your real life experience on what project you work on before. So I would recommend finding ways to gain that real life experience. Either I think UiPath have hyper hack event that allow people to coordinate with each other and building products using UiPath. But also joining UiPath community, looking for a mentor would help a lot with your career. I didn't mention that during my career progression, but I have a mentor during when I first started in my development or RPA journey as well. So having a mentor guiding you through this journey will also help accelerate your career as well. So I get this question a lot, like how can, I'm not saying that you're a student, but how can like a student in university can have real life experience? Because when we looking for job, people asking about experience, but if you don't have that first job, where do you get the experience from, right? We're living in a world where there's a lot of opportunities out there. So for example, you can even go into Upwork right now and looking for different small or medium projects. You may have a difficult time to win the project because you don't have a experience so far. But I know that a lot of projects just requiring like entry level experience on UiPath or in RPA, and that can help you get started as well. But if you can just using your knowledge from UiPath Academy and automating process that even it's not business process, as long as you show that you have exposure to different UiPath products, for example, document understanding. And I keep repeating document understanding because it's a very trendy skill right now for RPA or industry, AI and document understanding. I would suggest that you're looking for experience by building different projects, building a portfolio that you can showcase that you have experience using such and such products.
Hannah, that was an excellent answer. I think you touched very good points of mentorship, having your experience portfolio, and how you can actually use resources for using to identify real life use cases. I want to open the floor for Diana Gray as well. Diana, you're the UiPath community manager. I want to get your perspective, if you're open to this, on mentorship, on the idea of mentorship. Now,
Yeah,
UiPath MVPs and AI ambassadors are tokens of mentors or subject matter experts. Do you suggest any other way for anyone looking for mentorship within the UiPath community? How do they approach to find a mentor, or is there an opportunity there?
yeah. So that we do have a mentor program. If you go to community.uipath.com, under the headings there, you'll find the mentorship program, and you can sign up for that by filling out a form, and we can match a mentor with you. And then the other thing I'd really recommend is the forum. And Hannah mentioned, training through, the curriculum through the academic university program for the learning. It's free, it's self-paced. But one way to get mentored is to ask questions on the forum, and people will reach out from all over the world. So it doesn't matter which language you speak. It doesn't matter, what your question is. There's no question to, silly to ask or anything, because everybody's at a different level. So it's a great way to get instant mentorship. And it's also a great way for you to start contributing, which helps build your confidence. And I think that's really important, especially if, like Hannah, you're going for a certification. There's also a job board up there, and there are also some use cases that you can use. So using the UiPath Community Forum, I think, is really, really valuable. I hear it all the time that a lot of people take self-paced courses, and typically when we set up a series for a particular audience, let's say we're doing an AI series or a BA series, we always set up a forum channel too, so that everybody can network, get to know each other, ask their questions, and people can respond. So I would say that's a great way to really, really feel like you have the community behind you when you're learning new things. It's a safe place, so you don't have to worry about feeling silly asking anything, because people are there to support you.
Thanks a lot, Diana, for that very elaborative answer. It's such a great opportunity for the UiPath community to have a mentorship program. I think this is something unique about UiPath community, I would say, because it's not being offered, very frequently. If you go into other spaces, you don't see things like mentorship or support being offered for everyone in the community. So I would tell you to seize the moment and get the benefit of this offering, because if you are thinking of upskilling, this is a great way where you can actually connect with experts and they will give you feedback. Having a mentor is something that could gravely impact your performance. So thanks, Dinah, for explaining the opportunity that the UiPath community gives. So thank you so much for that.
You're
One of
welcome.
the Thank you. One of the other things that I want to talk about is the real life use cases that was asked in the question by Ashu. So UiPath also releases reports on AI, and they also release white papers. So you can find these information from uipath.com in their website itself. If you go in, and you can see industry use cases as well as the AI report. So this is actually really good for you, because you see how the industry is moving, right? You'll see what verticals are adapting AI, be it healthcare, manufacturing, anything else. You can see how they actually adapt intelligent automation as a production use case. Next, with these reports, you can actually see how artificial intelligence or RPA or intelligent automation is being adapted. You can see these metrics of what people are actually looking for. So I think these are also really important for our intelligent automation space. When you actually are looking to upskill yourself, it's also better to see what the market trend is. Cool. Lastly, I want to talk about the portfolio that Hannah mentioned. As a developer, I think the first thing, if you're working in code, you're probably going to have a Git repository with your portfolio, the codes and everything on that. So UiPath Forum is also a great way where you can create your profile. I would say because of the forum, you can create a profile, you can add use cases, you can ask questions, you can add suggestions. So that way you're actually building your profile on all the work that you do in RPA. So this opens a space for anybody who is actually inquisitive, or anybody who's looking for, they can actually come and see your profile, see the contributions that you've done, see the recommendations that you've given, or see the use cases that you have submitted into the forum repository. So that's a great way for you to create your portfolio as well. So we have a couple of more questions, Hannah, Diana, and our audience. So I'll try to go over these one by one. So we have one question from Parvati that says, may I know how communication mining helps in driving the automations? Hannah, I'll open the floor to you too, just to give your opinion. But I would like to add a few comments on communication mining. Communication mining is something that we try to get useful insights from vast communication channels like emails or other methodologies where we find out useful insights and other metrics like sentiment analysis. So communication mining is a field that uses artificial intelligence like sentiment analysis and natural language processing just to identify what are the key things that are spoken in a chain of communication thread. So if you are working in that aspect, this is a great way for you to explore communication mining. Hannah, would you like to add any comments? I just want to make sure.
No, I think that's a very good answer. And in the aspect of how communication mining open the door for more automation, I think using communication mining, we see area for improvement. For example, I see communication mining on different customer requests in the support department for a car dealership. You see that using communication mining, you see where a lot of question, a lot of issue coming from, and with that, the car dealership were able to improve the customer services, and they also use communication mining to mine the feedback on customer review on different vehicle and also on dealership. And using this feedback, they are able to build a better customer experience. For example, they can build chatbot using these questions and customer review and feedback from customer, so that whenever you go into a dealership web page, you can see like a virtual assistant or chatbot ask you for, but if you have any particular question about the dealership or the car model that you're looking at. So that's just one of the example of using communication mining to improve the customer experience and the efficiency of the processes.
Thanks a lot, Hannah, for that answer. I'll go through the others, and if you have any more questions, please add them in the chat. One of the other questions is there any prerequisites for learning AI and documentation as a beginner? I don't think there are any prerequisites, to be honest, because artificial intelligence, at least from the UiPath Academy, you can straight off go and get a little bit of subjects as a beginner. But there are also other resources where you can actually learn what artificial intelligence and machine learning is. If you go on to Coursera, they have some free courses on AI called AI for Everybody. I think that's a really great start for you. Just if you have no idea what AI is, you can actually do that course and see how, artificial intelligence is, and then make that decision on if you want to dive in further. I think that would be a good way to go. So, are there any other questions? I'll open the floor for a couple of minutes for any last minute questions if you may have. If not, we can close out the session for today. I think we got one more question saying, can I ask?
Oh, I think they're asking if they can take themselves off mute. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry. The thing is like my keyboard is kind of it's not working well, so writing is it's not a helpful way to make my questions. First of all, great discussion. Every time you pinpoint these resources like the mentoring program or the white papers is very refreshing to remember that we have those resources. One is me as an RPA developer that I have no coding background. So I'm one of those RPA developers who's starting just with the studio, with the UEPA studio, and from there I've started to learn a bit of code. So to make it simple, I understand that one of the things that maybe as an RPA developer I should be looking on is, generative AI and maybe some capabilities around document understanding. But I just wanted to pinpoint that even more and see if there is another recommendation maybe Sharon or Anna could have for me. That it would
Great
be,
question.
what do you recommend to me as being an RPA developer or pursuing to be an advanced RPA developer with no background in coding? I might not get more experience on coding as Hannah got on full stack because I'm just starting as RPA developer. So what should I look at? What should I learn? Or maybe where should I put my focus on?
Thanks for that question. Hannah, would you like to answer first? I can go next.
Sure. Yeah. So as I work with different developer from, not only the internal Ashling, but also with developer from the client side, I see that, I see a lot of people actually switching from business user to citizen developer. And then once they are comfortable with UiPath, they actually go into become a RPA developer using Studio instead of Studio X. So I think it's a learning journey, like Luis mentioned, that you don't have to have a coding background to get started. But if you want to go into it, become a advanced RPA developer, I would recommend that you take a coding course, or like just building a good foundation, because once you step into that advanced RPA area, we're talking about becoming semi like a solution architect, to start designing solution and building automation for your company, not just using a design and just building out the code that is. If we want to go into advanced area, we need to educate ourselves and have a stronger core foundation. And for Gen AI or document understanding, I think Gen AI is here to stay. So I recommend that, UiPath, like Sarah mentioned, already have the AI courses on Academy that you can take, get certified, because I find the certification is very helpful when you're looking for a job or advancement in your current company. Because it's proven that you have the experience, proven that you are qualified, right? But I talk to different people about, switching from more business like to more development like, and you really just cannot like, well, we have shortcut in a way that you don't have to have the full degree. But if you want to be an advanced developer, there's no way around, educating yourself, get a good core foundation in programming, pick a language, any language, Python, C#, but get a good understanding of programming. And yeah, just make sure to educate yourself first. For trendy technology like Gen AI and document understanding, as long as you get a good foundation, you will be able to grasp on the new technology quicker. I hope that helps. Anything
Yes,
that you'd like to
Hannah.
add, Sharon?
Yeah, I think that was really great because you talk about, being an RPA, but the importance of artificial intelligence as well. I just want to give a little bit of advice for Whisper. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name properly. I apologize if I don't. Um, Today, in
You are, you
different
are. Okay.
Thank you. In different technologies, right? We see that coding is slowly going away as a requirement, right? Because when you think about UiPath Studio, UiPath introduced autopilot to help the coding capabilities. If you think about Microsoft, Microsoft also has an autopilot. Every single technology stack, even GitHub, they have their autopilot to actually complete code. So the art of being a sophisticated coder is being lesser and lesser a fundamental requirement. I'm not saying that it's not a requirement, but it's not as extensive as it was a couple of years ago. Now, when we get into the RPA and AI space, it's actually very fair for you to think, hey, I don't have coding experience. How can I be successful? Or even if I'll be successful, you will probably have, that you have the potential of imposter syndrome because you don't know your counterparts, you don't know if they are more better coders than you. I would suggest that coding is no, you don't need to be an expert to get into RPA. You don't need to be an expert to get into AI too. Because if you actually go and see the people who are actually working in AI, there are a lot of people who have never touched a code in their life who are people who are working in AI. That being said, it's helpful for you to know coding. It's always going to help you in your life to know Python, C sharp. I would tell you to just, if you're actually interested to learn that, take a fundamental course in Python because be it RPA or AI, it's going to help you for the rest of your life, right? Having coding experience will help you in some way, but you don't need to be that big of an expert to get into RPA. You can try studying that on the side, but UiPath with what it is, I think if you are working in studio or if you're working document understanding, working in that space is going to give you that experience that you're looking for. And the way that you're going to use Python or coding is going to help you, as a capability for any of the technologies that you may use. Today's world, artificial intelligence might be the biggest thing, but we don't know how the environment or how the industry is going to change in the future. So having a little bit of a coding background is good to future proof, but you don't need that as extensively as you may think it is. So I hope Hannah and I gave you some confidence to, pursue your passion, Whisper, and I wish you all the
Yeah,
best.
did. You
Yeah.
did. I felt that you gave it right on the target, like you hit right on the target. I always thinking this of maybe I should learn more code and have some experience, maybe not work experience, but having that foundation you're telling me to have, and definitely I'm going to start taking specific courses just for code, because until now I just was starting stuff around, well, what can I do with Studio and other UiPath tools,
Yeah.
but definitely for me to keep a good foundation on my career, I'm going to start learning at least
Yeah.
some coding experience.
And
So
if
really,
you
thank
think
you.
about, absolutely, and if you think about Studio too, you know, when you customize something, maybe string variables, string manipulations, UiPath uses a lot of Visual Basic .NET, right? So that's
Yeah.
a great way for you to go to forum, because if you type in a question, a Visual Basic question, I'm 99% sure you're going to get an answer back. So
No,
that's
I'm that one. If you check my profile on forum, I literally started asking, let's not say stupid, but these really simple questions about expressions on VB, because I didn't know anything about VB.NET, and that's the way I started also a bit of learning how VB.NET works. So yeah, I'm really that person. So and I use forum so much, and other resources. I've been on the mentoring program also as a mentee. So yeah, I'm one of those. So I'm really thankful about everything you've been discussing and the whole community that UiPath has.
Yeah, absolutely love to hear that feedback, Lucifer. Thank you so much for giving it. I
Thank
know
you.
we are at time here. We are a little bit over time. So once again, I want to thank all of you for attending. I'm so glad that we had an engaged conversation. Please feel free to join our final session. If you have questions further, you can actually ask us in our third session. I also want to thank Hannah. Hannah, thank you. I know you have a very busy schedule, but thank you for coming in the morning, spending time with our team, giving your insights, and actually helping our audience, get some information from you. And you shared your hiring manager's perspective, you shared your RPA developer perspective. So thank you so much for that. And Diana, I also want to thank you for organizing these events and our future events. You shared your insights today too. I think mentorship is something really important to the audience. So I thank you for sharing your thought leadership, and I thank you everybody, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you.